Good morning. This is another day where we're sharing a video for you or to you from the scripture. And we're going through the Psalms, and as we go through the Psalms, there's things that we see here. We're going through Psalm 1. Last time I talked to you in Psalm 1 about the tree that's planted by the rivers of water. Now let me read this for you. It says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the paths of sinners," that's 2, "nor sits in the seat of the scornful," that's 3. These 3 things he does not do, beloved. So he doesn't do that. But what he does is, verse 2, his delight is in the law of the Lord. Now the law is the one thing that the Bible is called. And this is fascinating because the law of the Lord is referred to here as the scripture. And I love this because actually, if you think about it, we're in the New Testament time, so we don't think about the law, But the law was the guidance, the regular, if you would, set of rules and regulations that God required from us. Now, the New Testament brings into play something that is Jesus Christ, who was always here, but poured himself into human flesh. When he became human, he lived with us and provided an amazing example of how a human should live. He did everything right, lived by the law of God, and then he died on the cross, allowed himself to die on the cross. When he did that, they thought it was over. The disciples and all the followers of Jesus thought, this is it. We thought he was Messiah. He was going to come and fix everything and help everything. He didn't do it. But what Jesus Christ was doing was actually, he was fixing everything. Everything he was fixing was sin. Sin had to be dealt with. So on the 3rd day, Jesus Christ raises from the dead. Nobody helped him do this. I mean, he didn't have a special team, people of, put together a special potion for me. No. Nobody realized that he did this alone. God did this alone. When he came to life, he said some interesting things. He said, "Come to me, all you who are heavy laden, I will give you rest." So that's interesting. So we're in this time where we follow Jesus, where things have changed. Time has gone on. Now, as we look at this, we see, "But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in the law does he meditate day and night." And it says, "He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth fruit in his season." Now, I love this next line, "whose leaf shall not wither." Leaf. What's important about a leaf? Well, we learn in Revelation that the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. That's important. So we become people who are involved with healing. Now, we are involved with healing because we cannot do these things except the Lord helps us. So that's why we know that. But this is the next line, whatever he does will prosper because God's will is in his heart. Isn't that amazing? That's absolutely, whatever he does will prosper. And that doesn't give us permission to do whatever we want. It gives us permission to ask God, "God, what do you want me to do?" And when you tell me what you want me to do, then I know that your will is in it. But listen to verse 4 now. "The ungodly, people who are not godly, are not so, but like the chaff which the wind drives away." The chaff is that part of the wheat when they went to the threshing floor and beat the wheat that got spewed off and the wind would blow it away. "They will be like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the ungodly shall stand or shall not stand in judgment." I find that interesting. "Nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous." For us to be godly and for us to be people who love the Lord, of course, we will stand in the judgment that comes. And that, of course, is something that's interesting. We could get into the rapture here, but I don't want to do that right now. We'll do that as we get in. We see some things here about the rapture coming up. "For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish." So that's the story that we see in Psalm 1. It is 6 verses of a beautiful psalm. Very good. Next week we'll talk more, and we'll start in Psalms 2.